All right.
But I'm glad.
Hey, guys.
That's pretty bad when you haven't seen it. Oh, absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Next week you can come and sing the national anthem.
Roll call.
Jenny David.
Here.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Here.
Craig Scott.
Here.
Mark Serbrook.
Present.
Additions to the agenda. I know we have a few. Tim?
First one would be if you'd be willing to add on the job training contract with Michigan Works. This is for the new employee at the equalization office, total amount of the grant, $5,606.27.
Okay, next. Will you want that under discussion items or?
It could be 5C would be good.
Okay. And wasn't there another
Closed session.
closed session,
Yeah,
right?
closed session, right.
So you want that under,
The new number 8. And then adjourn would be to 9.
any other additions or corrections?
I don't think so.
I just want to add the time clock just for an update for all of us. A, B, C, D, make sure we all know what's going on there.
Good.
Anything else?
Make a motion away from the agenda with the additions.
We don't need a motion.
What's right?
I don't see public comment. Any public comment and
Forget. Sorry.
on agenda items only? In the room, on the phone? Fantastic. Appointments, Sheriff Gilbert. We've got a couple things on here. Come on up.
Good evening.
Hi, nice to see you.
Good evening.
What's happening? Under Sheriff?
How are you?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
Hanging in there.
Nice to see you. You have the floor, sir.
The contract is basically a safety net, for the inmates that would not get transported to Gladwin prior to getting transported, I should say so. And it's something that we need to have. Is that true?
I would strongly recommend it. It's like any other insurance policy, but after our conversation at law enforcement committee, Paul and I scanned over that document. The total cost was $1139. I get that right?
Yep.
Okay. $1139 plus, no, that's just the base fee. That gets us in the door. The real cost comes if we actually have to use the medical, and in that case, 13% of the claims would be charged back to the county. And as the sheriff and undersheriff explained in law enforcement committee, these are the inmates that we have full custody of before they get to Gladwin. Once they're in Gladwin, they're under another policy over there that's no longer on ours. But an example that the undersheriff and I were talking about just before this meeting, they had one inmate that they brought back from Aranac for court. Well, in that time that we had possession of him, he could have had any series of medical issues that could occur, and then this gets us covered for any kind of expense that comes along with that. So this isn't any different than really the policy that we covered when we were operating our 24/7 jail. But I think it's still important to have because we still have possession of people from time to time, and it's good to have that coverage.
So do we currently not have a coverage for the holding cell?
This is just a renewal.
Oh,
So we still have Blue Cross in place. It's still carried over. This is the renewal contract to continue with Blue Cross coverage. Like when Tim and I were looking for that number that was discussed in law enforcement, we brought up an inmate yesterday for court today. So he overnighted with us because of transport issues and that type of thing. Something happened to him at 2 a.m.
agreed.
We don't have medical internal, so he has to go to a medical provider locally. This gives us a safety net that we don't have to bear the total cost in those circumstances. I don't anticipate we're gonna use it a whole lot.
Still going to have it.
Yeah, so that's all this is just to renew the current coverages that are there.
Yeah, I would think this would be very much necessary. Comments, questions? You guys discussed this already in the law enforcement?
Comment. Yeah, we had a law enforcement meeting prior to this meeting. We discussed this. I've talked about this in the past, and I know this would be a battle with the state, but again, it's just so hard to believe that our county residents that have to pay taxes, it will help keep this county running. We have people who break the law, who make that decision to break the law, that we have to spend all of this money for people that are breaking the law. You know, when it comes to all these outside expenses, and then we gotta take care of their medical. I know that's a big battle with the state, but I just don't understand it. But it's something that we have to have right now, and I would like to have some more conversation regarding this, maybe with the state rep or somebody, because it's just not right that our hardworking county residents have to pay for people who are breaking the law and have to go to jail, pay for their medical. It just makes no sense to me. That's all I got.
Commissioner Scott,
No, I don't.
Commissioner. So this is gonna be an annual contract?
Yeah, until something were to change, but I mean, it's the same thing that was in place before, even when it was operating, it's just renewing it.
July to June, it says, July 1st, 25 through June 30th.
Is the cost the same?
Yes,
So
nothing's
there was
changed
no,
in it.
no, even though we don't have the housing inmate, like the cost, the 1139 is the exact same as what it was with a full running jail?
From what I recall, yes.
Wow, that's kind of sad.
It said
It's just to get
13% what they'll get you though, if it's a major medical event and, 13% of that ends up being on us.
That's where the,
No, I agree. I mean, we definitely need it, but it's just, I would have thought with the liability has significantly declined with the number of inmates that our costs would have been. So, okay. Next commissioner or sheriff, I'm sorry.
That's it. Well, the next is a job description that the undersheriff had worked on. And we sent that to Tim, and Tim did a little minor changes, which didn't affect anything really. But we're basically wanting the AOK for this job description so we can put our feelers out there and try to fill this position. But we didn't want to do that without, the blessing that this description is good. So that's where we're at.
I'm good with the description. This is kind of what we said in the law enforcement meeting. If they get the nod from us, at least at this meeting, they can go ahead and start advertising. And next month, next week. We give the nod tonight, next week we'll pass it and it's official.
Comment.
Commissioner Wiltie,
I agree exactly what Commissioner Scott just stated.
how many hours it doesn't have on, this is just the job description itself. How many hour
I
position?
think it's 29.
No, we budgeted for 20.
20?
How is this job description different than the current secretary?
the major points that are different is that basically right out of the gate that they're being given assignments from the full-time secretary.
Okay.
They're taking tasks from them, so whether it be, certain minor tasks that can be accomplished, because they're only gonna be there 20 hours a week.
Mhm.
We're gonna shift some of the full-time to the part-time responsibilities. That way the full-time can take some of the assignments from me. Absorb some stuff from the other command officers. So there's a movement of internal workings with this part-time position. That's the major thing, and it just lists the primary things like the gun permits. These are just kind of basic, setting up a FOIA so that we can get responses out. These are kind of, I won't say lesser tasks, but just kind of basic tasks that we would assign to this person, at least to start, to take some burden off the full-time position.
And I asked Tim today, I called him on this. This is gonna be a shared position, because it says sheriff's secretary at the top, part-time. It's gonna be a shared between the sheriff's department and the corrections department, correct?
The way I see it, I don't think there's really a separation at this point, because right now we're operating with one full-time administrative assistant / secretary. And they're doing the brunt of administrative duties that I assign or have to be done for both corrections and the sheriff's office. So I don't see naming this person corrections. There's a group of administrative things that need to be done by the secretaries. It's going to be split between the full and part-timers.
Sure. Commissioner Serbrook,
Nothing.
Commissioner Mayhew? Okay,
Good.
yeah. Where is this gonna be? So people know where to look. Where's this gonna be posted at?
I
Would I
would
put it on our county website?
Facebook, county website, we'll have to, I'll get with Tom when we create an application. Or we'll just have him use the sheriff department, we'll give him specific instructions on the deputy, like we did with ACO, to have him put a certain word in the secondary phone number that says secretary. That way, when the application comes through, that way we don't have to recreate a new one.
Okay.
That's what we did with ACO.
Hopefully you get some good candidates. Did you have something, Commissioner Wiltie? Item 3, Lake Ogemaw Summer Resort Association Marine Patrol Agreement.
We had a 5-year contract and it's up this year. So, the undersheriff took the old contract up and cleaned it up. And, basically what they did, they budgeted the patrol for like $4,500. And within the contract, it states that it'll be $140 a day for one Marine officer out there. And what we've done in the past, it says 25 days, but they were okay to reduce that down to 21 days. So in the last past years, I had sat down with the president there and the board members, and we come up with 21 days that they felt that they needed a patrol. And most of them was on the weekends and holidays and that sort of thing. So it's been a good program. It worked really well. And they're looking to extend this for another 5 years so that they get that patrol out there. And it's not going to take it away any patrol from the other lakes, because I have enough Marine officers that we can fill that patrol time. Like I had stated earlier, I'm going to change it up a little bit, my patrol techniques. So we get a shared amount of patrol throughout the county. So that's my intentions.
Comments? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you done?
No, I'm good.
Commissioner Scott?
We went over this also in the committee meeting. There are 2 boats and then there are jet skis, so other lakes can be patrolled simultaneously as long as Lake Ogemaw. One of the boats was bought by the Lake Ogemaw Property Owners Association. So the one that they'd be out there floating around is already bought by them. So for another lake resident to say, hey, they're down to Lake Ogemaw all the time. Well, they are, but they're being paid, the county's being paid from the county, from there. So the grant money is being used at the other lakes. And either in a boat or on the jet skis. So there's a lot of variables there. So it isn't just a focus just on the one lake.
Commissioner Wiltie?
Yeah, it was discussed at law enforcement. I agree with the plan. I know the sheriff talked about, being transparent, making sure to let the residents know that, their other boat will be used on our other lakes. That is important. Our county residents are paying for that. And it sounds like you guys got a good plan for it.
Commissioner Mayhew? Commissioner Serbrook?
I've got 2 issues. Number 1, in the second paragraph, it says 25 days, and then another section says 21.
Yeah.
So we need to
Yeah.
correct that. My other issue that I have is this is a 5-year contract and I don't see an out clause. If somebody wants to cancel this contract, whether it's us or them, there is nothing that I saw in there where it says on 30-day, 60-day notice, one of us can back out of the deal. And I think that's important. I don't want to see us lock into a 5-year contract and then something happened down the road where we can't get out of it.
That was in there.
I didn't see it. I
Thought it was in there also, but I could be wrong.
Unless I missed it typing, but I remember seeing.
It might have been in the original, but I agree, totally.
What's been the cost while you're looking for that, Undersheriff? What's been the cost what was it last year per day? Do you know what?
I think it was under 140.
We spend the amount of money for the contract, so I mean, that's. And then we started 2 years ago, we started invoicing to recover the cost of gas.
Yes, yeah.
And then the boat gas. So it's the same with the grant money. We manage and monitor what we're spending in wages and that based on the amount of money we're bringing in. So that we get the maximum amount from the grant and we only spend what Lake Ogemaw has given us for contractual price. I could break it down if you want and get it to
I
you.
was just wondering, I see it looks like it's gonna go up over the 5 years to 170. Am I reading that? I guess. Or is that with everything
The max is
included?
170
70 per day?
There is an increase built into it.
based on the
Over the,
union contract. on what they're gonna pay. The other issue, not an issue, but I think just to cover us all, that we should have our attorney, the county attorney, Matt or Dan or somebody, go look this over.
I thought they have to go over all contracts.
And they have it,
They haven't?
they have it, and we've already had some exchange back and forth.
So they have or they haven't?
They have it now, yeah.
Cause this was done before we had them as attorneys, when this original
Yeah,
contract
this
was
is
inked.
5 years ago.
Yes.
Did you get the clean copy where I caught that 25? And put 21? I sent you
I
a
don't
second
think
email.
so, because I just saw 25 and.
I probably printed that last week and stuck it in here for today.
Sent a second
Yeah,
version
that's
where I
exactly
thought
what I
that
did.
25, they got
Yeah.
21, but I'm not seeing the
Exit clause?
exit clause.
I looked at it twice and I didn't see it, but
There's there's
I looked at it again, I don't see it either.
maybe
Severability, but
the severability.
not very clear.
That's not gonna be an issue with them.
well, I'm sure not, but just,
No.
just to cover both sides, you know, it used to be in there.
Absolutely.
But Don at the attorney firm is the one that we sent it to, and he's already corresponded with us, Tim and I, and we've addressed some of the concerns that he has, so I have not seen him return a final document yet, but we'll try to get that done before next Thursday.
I think this is great. I guess I was confused by what you were talking about a grant. I'm under the understanding, maybe I'm misunderstanding, is that like Ogemaw pays this amount for your guys' for your guys' coverage in total. Is it the grant plus what they pay you?
The grant is for the rest of the county.
Correct,
Grant.
okay, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah,
So
right.
this is just for, they pay you all your costs for their coverage.
Operations on their lake.
Okay,
That's where we only do what they pay us for.
and the 140 per day covers the marine officer, everything.
And then when we added the gas recovery is where
Okay.
we made up the little bit of difference that.
Right,
And then the
that
rest
was
of-
my question. The grant is the rest, really, it's not taxpayer funded except through grant.
Grant.
Through a
State level.
grant. At the state level,
Yeah,
it's funded,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because even the big boat, if you remember, came from government surplus. The jet skis that have come through us have been through, government surplus, so.
Yeah.
The equipment we're even operating at minimal cost.
Right.
And then the other,
Right.
second boat,
Well, I've heard that mentioned with the ORVs. Well, we're paying for this. No, you're really not, you're paying through it on a state level, but it's grant funded,
$11,000 for ORV. and-
yeah. I mean, well, it's just like the jail, geez, we voted on that. No, you never voted on the jail. It never came to a ballot, so I don't mind you disagreeing, but
I was gonna make it.
just don't say it's something that isn't true, So,
okay. You'll make sure our legal team looks at that, make sure there's a exit clause.
Yeah, we even put in the resolutions, subject to review. I won't even put it in front of you until his stamp of approval.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
No, I think that's it.
Everything going well?
Well.
Going?
Yeah, it's going well. As well as it can go right now. We're gonna get there.
Is there another, just so we are on record, is there another corrections? We approved another corrections position? Is that posted?
That's been filled.
Oh, good.
So we took the part-time and moved him up to full-time. So
Okay.
we still have one more to fill. So when we're working our way through that right now with the recalls and all this and that. So
One more corrections?
one more. We have one more spot.
Is that the administrator?
the administrators,
That's-
is that
That's what I was gonna ask him next. Was that the jail administrator position? Is it posted so people know where to look?
We're getting through, we want to get through these recalls first and then we'll see who wants to come back. And-
Oh, I see what you're
and then-
saying.
And then we're gonna go from there.
Okay,
So.
okay,
Yep.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate the update.
Thank you, guys.
Anything else, guys, for that? Well, that was fast and furious.
Perfect, thank you.
West Branch property. Mr. Shelton, do you want to come on up? I believe this is your topic.
I guess it's,
Your data, I believe, is on our iPads that you presented to us last week.
pardon me?
The information you gave us is on here.
Oh, okay,
we also have the tax
We do.
summary sheet,
Okay.
you know. With,
So you wanted to bring a topic to us. Go ahead.
Well, as I said, when I was here, last week, that, you know, we got 2 county jails and our, prisoners are going to Gladwin County, so we got, especially the jail right behind the old jail is just sitting there. I know it's being used for storage or something, but, and we've got, some vacant parking lots that aren't being used. If you could drive by the one across from the old extension office and you'll see, there's a logger pickup sitting there and 1 county pickup, and they're not being used. And then the lots on, block 17, they're grass lots. They're not being used for parking or anything. So I would think my suggestion would be, that to, I think there's 4 realtors in the county, send them a letter saying you'd like a market analysis on these lots and what your commission rate is. And when that comes back, you'll have an idea of what they're worth. And then would put the old jail up for demolition, put that out for bid, and that's not gonna cost you anything. And you'll also have a savings, and I don't know what the insurance is on the old jail, how much they got on that, or the utilities on that for money coming back in. I mean, that's it's a long process. I realize it's gonna take a lot of time, but you know, I think we gotta start somewhere on it. I was in the real estate business for a long time, but I don't know what the market is here for lots in West Branch. And if you got Morris Richardson, you got Benjamin in Rose City, you got 31 Realty and C.A. Haynes, and send it out and see what the lots are worth. And then put it out for bid and see what it's gonna cost you to tear it down. Someday it's gonna have to come down. It's
someday.
someday it's gonna have to happen, you know. I was here when we built the courthouse and we had, you know, we started out and we tore the old courthouse down and had an auction and auctioned off a lot of the contents, and it was quite an ordeal with the big safe that went real high, and then the Judge Horn's desk, that went really high, and we brought in a lot of money on that deal, so it's there's also the Pointer Hill Park, and I'm not familiar with what's going on up there. It's not on, you know, other than it's not being used very much. So that was my suggestion, was to put it out to the realtors, get a bid, then you got some numbers to go by, and if it's feasible, fine. If it isn't, then let's go from there. So.
Comments, Commissioner?
Well, I don't think it'd be,
Commissioner Scott,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think it'd be a bad idea to find out a rough estimate of what it costs to tear the jail down. I mean, we got more than enough people asking us all the time. What the heck, let's try to find out even a ballpark price, you know. As far as a couple of these lots, I'm not quite sure I want to sell the parking lot. But that one over on 7th Street, it's just a grassy lot. I don't really want to make that a parking lot or turn it into commercial, and I'd just soon get rid of that. I've mentioned Pointer Hill Park in the past. It was great when M76 was the main road. It's not anymore. I know that we use the tower. We'll have to work out something there. I understand the tower company is interested in buying the property that it sets on. And then Bob Resteiner owns the property adjoining it. I don't know if part of the park goes along the highway and goes to the top of the hill where the lookout used to be. That part, I would think, even though it's not 2 different parts, but at least that part, I would think Bob would like that, because if you go up and stand in the lookout, you're looking right in Ethan's living room, you know. We're mowing the grass up there. Chris from our maintenance guy here is driving up there every week, taking a lawnmower and mowing the grass. I think it's a waste of money myself, and there's no need for that for a park. I talked to the Parks and Rec committee. They don't want anything to do with it. It's just a cost. I. Couple of these things. I'm not opposed to selling that parking lot at 8th Street. I'm just not quite sure I want to do it yet. And then the other parcel that's on Wright Street has a small garage. That's where he keeps the lawnmower. I think in the summer months or something. I don't know what we really do in there, but I know Chris has got stuff in there. So, but I think we should, Mr. Sheltron brought it up. I think we should take a look at it. I don't think we'll get much out of the lot on 7th Street, but a few bucks is a few bucks.
Commissioner Wiltie?
I appreciate Mr. Shelton bringing this, and obviously, he cares, he wants to, possibly see what we can do. We have an asset at Pointers Park that we don't use, it's actually just creating a liability for us there. Sounds like that there's some interest from the tower company, could generate revenue for the county. Definitely think we need to look at that immediately. These other items definitely, could look into that open lot on 7th, just a grass. I could see possibly a nice little house getting built there. We have housing issues here in the county that we add that to the tax base. I agree with Commissioner Scott. I don't think it hurts at all to get a somewhat of a general idea what it would cost to knock down the old jail. There's a lot of conversation going on with 911 and that antenna, and the antenna getting possibly moved over to annex, possibly not. So, that stuff would have to all get figured out. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you bringing it here. It spurs some good conversation, and we need to look into some.
Commissioner Serbrook?
I am certainly not opposed to divesting from the Pointer Hill Park or the property there on 7th Street. And it'd be nice to see what the demo cost would be for the gym. My concerns with the old jail is what are gonna happen to all the records that are stored in that building? Because they've gotta go someplace. We've gotta store records. And I think we're gonna be shocked when we get the demo cost. I talked to, I don't know if you all remember, when Karen gave her report in regards to the land bank, when they had that property demoed on Rose City Road, that was $70,000. Now granted, there was an underground tank there, but just 2 other demo projects that they've done, which were just dwellings, were in excess of $50,000. That old jail is a lot bigger than a frame house. It's reinforced concrete. There's a huge crawl space under that thing that would need to be filled. So I would it'd be nice to know what it would cost, but I think it's gonna be a lot of money. And again, then what are we gonna do with the records that are stored there? They've got to go someplace. And that building is an eyesore. I would love nothing more to see that thing fall down tomorrow. I wish a tornado would hit it, we'd collect the insurance and get rid of it, But be interested to see what the cost is, the demo it. And then what are we gonna do with the records?
Commissioner Mayhew?
I believe it's correct there. I mean, I don't know if Karen's gonna get any more of these grant deals to clean stuff up or not. Or if it could even be used on that, but that'd be something that we could ask her someday. But I thought
That's for
up
sure.
on the hill, the tower, them people were gonna mow the grass. I thought what Mr. Scott told us, they would mow the grass.
Well, I think they want to they want to take a look at ownership of the property. Now, we do use the county uses the tower for something up there. It's an AT&T tower. We got something up there. I'm not sure what it is, but they have not paid us anything. Whenever the agreement was set, they didn't have to pay us anything.
Well, the last time you talked, I thought you said that was one of the complaints. We had to go mow the grass, and I thought you said they would take over mowing the grass.
Mr. Steinbauer, you said, right? Wasn't that, who did you think was mowing the grass?
The people that have the tower there,
Oh,
them
Tower
people.
company. I can't remember.
I believe that's.
I could give you some background on that tower because I was involved in that entire
Okay.
construction of that tower and stuff. Initially it was State Electronics, which was the company that at that time had the Motorola contract to service us. They're the ones that constructed that tower. Then they turned around, it's built on our land. The deal was we got to put our antennas on there for free. Now what? Vertical real estate is very pricey. When you start looking at towers, to hang stuff on a tower, if you don't own it, you're gonna pay a whole lot of money. And the deal was originally, the equipment was out at Indian Springs, which is actually owned by CMU. The DNR seemed to think that they had proper control over it. We got a cease and desist to remove all of our equipment from it, which got us going with it. State Electronics understand then, when I was working for the sheriff, they then subleased to a company called SBC, which is a nationwide, and that's what they do is they run the towers. I don't know if now they have reverted their whatever rights they had for the tower to then this AT&T, because it's not AT&T I don't believe it's the AT&T we think of when we think of telephone service as being that company, but it was SBC before. So the deal with the lease was Ogemaw County gets to put whatever antennas we want to on that tower free of charge.
So what antennas do we have on there? Who,
911's got some of their stuff on it now. So,
anything else?
because there was no 911 when that tower was built, there was no standalone 911 at that time. Sheriff ran it all, so hence our involvement.
How do we find more information out about this?
Somebody's got to have a copy of that lease.
I've got it in the file. A couple of years ago when we looked at all of our properties, Denise was kind enough to go in and even pull deeds, so that we've got a lot of that. And we had something happen with that tower, and I know Tom was involved, I'm pretty sure. So I know he's listening here. Yeah, he can chime in, but there's something to do with that. We were trying to figure out who it was, and you said SBC, and that's what rang the bell with me.
Okay.
And there was a change in companies and so on, and it was just a.
Yeah, no, SBC may have
Yeah.
sold out. I mean, that's been 15 years ago plus, so.
But anyway, yeah, we've got it all, in a file.
Tom, do you have anything to add? Oop.
There you
Oops,
go.
go ahead, Tom.
Craig, but
Oops, go ahead, Tom.
Ham Radio has their equipment on the tower, and what Mark said is correct. I think it was SBC that built it, and then if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like Tower Company or Tower Company 123 that actually owns it now.
The only thing you know that's on there is ham radio. The only thing you know that's on there is ham radio.
For us, yes. There's like 4 meters there though, and I think Verizon put some stuff on it recently. AT&T has had it since it was built. They got their equipment on there. Ham radio's on there, and I don't believe Dispatch has anything on that tower right now.
Justin.
Dispatch is out on Indian Hills. Dispatch is out on Indian Hills.
Indian Springs.
Indian Springs, the old ski resort. Indian Springs, the old ski resort. Is that just my echo?
Yes, it is.
Is that just my echo? I guess so.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate you bringing this to us. This is all stuff that we have talked about over the last couple of years. It has sparked conversation. We own properties that we didn't even know that we own, so we did gather all that information. There's been a lot of things happen here in the past year. I think this will definitely continue as far as the conversation goes. I'm not in favor of getting a quote for the jail. That is a very poor eyesight to see. Again, I don't know what's all over there. I haven't been over there since the move. I know 911 is a hot topic right now for some equipment. I agree with Commissioner Serbrook. I think the cost is gonna be pretty large. I also agree with Commissioner Mayhew. I think we can definitely start looking at grants. That's a process as well. So I appreciate your time. I think we will continue with these conversations. We need some more information on that tower. It's talked about, and then we got diverted with a lot of other very large issues. So I think we'll continue to talk about this moving forward, but I appreciate your time.
Thank you for bringing it back up. I mean, I appreciate your time and discussion.
Thank you, sir.
And you're welcome to come back to any meeting.
Thank you.
He smiles.
You don't miss.
How long have you been out? How long ago did you retire from Local politics,
Local
Government.
follow. I was elected
I'm still in it.
that's what I'm asking.
1974, and I served 8 years as commissioner.
Okay,
And then I ran for the Senate and against Connie Dinsfield and lost, and then, and, 90, 88, I ran for commissioner again, served 10 more years.
Wow.
And then I was elected to the state house for 6 years, and then, now I'm, on the board of canvassers for the last, 8 years, I guess now.
As long as I've
Long
been
time On
here.
the board of canvassers, but, things are, I was on the board originally when the courthouse was built.
what year was that?
Well, we moved in 75 or 76. 76 is when we moved in.
Okay,
They had, there was back then there was the funding, there was, 6 commissioners back then, and the first 6 months of the fees that came in, it was put into a separate fund. And then they used the property tax and everything else to, build up the money to get enough money to build the thing, and I can't remember the total bid on this, but, and then after that, social services, wanted the building, and that's when the annex was built, and we signed a 10-year contract with social services, and it was at $50,000 a year. And that's how we built that building. And then they moved downtown on the old furniture building down there. So it's been, well, I'm pushing 85 now, so I've been.
wow. A lot of history and a lot of knowledge. Thank you for your service. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Bill.
Thank you.
Item five,
Mark straight it over.
item 5, Matt, Student Debt Relief Initiative.
On, let's say it was Wednesday last week, I sat in on a Zoom meeting that Mac sponsored on this project, and they framed this as potentially a benefit that counties could offer their employees. There are counties in Michigan who already do this, and the example that they continued to use was Oakland. And I just hesitate to compare us to Oakland County for obvious reasons, but the message was the same. This is a program where this company Savvy works with, in a case would work with our employees who maybe have student loan debt and helps them, I don't want to say consolidate because that's not what they do, but they take advantage of all of the different programs within the federal student loan realm where employees can save money. For instance, if you're a public service employee for 10 years, your loan ends up being forgiven after that 10 years, assuming you've paid on it for 10 years. Just as an example. This particular program really comes with 3 options for employees if the county were to decide to offer it. The first option is it's just offered to employees and they can participate through payroll deduction or not at their choice. Kind of like what we do with 457 plans and some of the other AFLACs and programs like that. There is an option. They have a 2-tier system. On the first tier, it's a $70 a month. I'm sorry, $70 annual fee to get into this initial tier where they will assist the employees. Some counties pay that as a benefit to their employees, kind of as a recruitment tool. So if we're recruiting, particularly anybody who would have a requirement of some kind of a degree to do their work, that this might be something that would give us perhaps an advantage over another employer. There is a larger program or a larger package, and I believe that was somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 a year. Where they really shepherd the employee or the employees who has the student loan debt through a program that they have found to be very successful. But of course, they can't do it for free. Another aspect that they introduced later in the discussion was that this is something that could also be open to residents of the county through the county. And this is all through the National Association of Counties that help sponsor that. So in the Oakland County case, if you live in Oakland County, you can go to the county website, click on the link, and you can sign up on your own. You don't have to have any involvement of the county whatsoever, but by virtue of being a county resident, they will accept that resident at the same fees that they would charge employees. So my purpose here tonight is just to bring this to your attention. I don't know if it's something you're interested in or not. But it does seem to be a no-lose situation for the county if it were just offered to our employees. There's no cost for the county to do that. So an employee decides they want to take advantage of this. They click on the link, which takes them right to the Savvy webpage, and they work directly with Savvy. We never see anything unless there's a payroll deduction like we do with Aflac, which let's say it's simple, but it's not a hard thing to do. The involvement of our IT is only to the point of setting the link up on our webpage, and that's it. So we don't have any responsibility there either. So just something that I thought I'd bring to your attention. It is something that is being promoted by MAC as well. But again, just in the idea of employee recruitment, that this might be something that would be advantageous to the county.
Commissioner Serbrook.
I think, as long as we could offer it, it'd be great. Doesn't cost us anything and possibly assist the current employees or future employees, so. I think I'd be in favor of it for sure.
Commissioner Mayhew,
No.
Commissioner Scott.
Well, I'm probably not gonna use it. I don't think I'm gonna go to college from here on out, but not that I can't learn something, but we do have a lot of newer, younger employees, and they may take advantage of that. I mean, I think we should disseminate this information out to them, and if they wanna take on something like that, some additional training, why not? A good way to afford it.
Commissioner Wiltie.
Well, I feel if the county was consistently thriving and we were in a very good financial position, I'd look into the options of possibly being able to get a little creative and maybe even spend a little money. We know the importance of our county employees and get some competitive people coming in, but we're not there yet. But if there's an option that we can possibly help some of the employees that may have some student debt at no cost to us, just being able to, kind of be the kind of blend through to get to it. And then also, I mean, if our county residents can use it at no cost, it's just another perk of what we can offer to them. I think that'd be great as well.
What was the downfall to opening this up for all county residents?
I didn't hear any downfall at all, because once the resident clicks on that link, we're out of the equation. I mean, we see nothing as far as application forms, any kind of data. That's all worked through the company, and they do all the work, maintain the files. So for us, it's just a matter of having that link available, and then we're out.
So I guess why would we not do this?
Right.
The rural healthcare does this, offers this. It's a pretty nice program for student debt. And then again, they have workers that have to sign a contract that they'll work for a certain period of time. And it's typically not extremely long, but it's definitely an incentive. I don't see why we should just keep it at the county level. I guess or for employees, I think it should be open to anyone and everyone. I guess I'm not understanding why it wouldn't be. What am I missing?
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Like I said, the
I
Oakland County.
don't think you are. I just think it's something that we can offer as an option now that we have in front of us.
I did poke around a little bit about the company, and I did notice that the AARP offers that to its members. So they have the same setup. You go there, you click on the link, and you can sign up through AARP. So as far as that's concerned, I can't, if they're doing it, I can't see a downside.
That's what I would like to see. Put it on our website and open it up to anybody and they go from there. I don't.
Yeah, it can be available to them at no cost to us, definitely.
I don't really see anything as far as public, right off the bat, a student loan benefit for county, cities, towns, and all government employees.
This is a marketing tool that they
This is a tool for
put up through NACO
employees.
to help counties, make that decision.
Yeah.
But they were very clear about that in
But
the.
if it's open for everybody, go ahead.
But it could even be at the local level then for individuals who serve on boards who want to further their
Yeah.
education. I mean, so why keep this contained?
Yeah.
Okay. Comments?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Item C, we have Michigan Works, pardon me?
Oh,
Michigan Works contract.
Okay, this, I think I probably spoiled the surprise at the beginning of the meeting, but this is a grant that Randy Booth worked on. He was familiar with this from interns in the past where he was able to get some additional funding through Michigan Works to pay those interns. So he went ahead and knocked on their door again. And they're willing to offset some of the, on the job training component, which is really everything that this new employee would do, to offset the cost to a maximum amount of $5,606.47. This is another one of those that really there's no downside. I mean, they're paying some of the wages of this employee for us for that introductory period. And our policy says if there's going to be a grant accepted, the board has to accept it. So that's why it's in front of you tonight. And if we agree, we'll put it on next week for final approval.
Comments, Commissioner Scott,
Looks good to me.
Commissioner Wiltie?
No, this is great. I mean, I think this is a perfect example of a county employee, a stakeholder that's going above and beyond, making sure we're getting everything we can out of a, you know, possibility, and this is great.
Commissioner Serbrook?
Definitely, let's do it. We've utilized it before. We utilized it for corrections staff when we had some new hires at corrections.
Commissioner Mayhew?
Yeah.
So this is to train this new employee in the equalization department, correct?
Right.
What, I think this is great as well. It's very sad that we lost an employee that had some longevity that I know that had went for a lot of training and that we had invested quite a bit of money. Hopefully we work on retaining and not having to do this, but absolutely. Is that it on that? Yes.
We actually, when I started in the clerk's office, we did utilize this, and I want to say there were 4 of us that started at the same time, and we all took advantage of this, and we actually were acknowledged by Michigan Works for being the Employer of the Year. And I got to go to a
Wow.
dinner and presentation, and it does save us money, and it, on my end, when I did it, it was worth it. It wasn't very, I mean, I didn't have to do a lot of stuff to take part in it. It's worth it. It's a good program.
I can speak volumes for Michigan Works. I've been on their board now for quite a few years, and the amount of monies that they somehow continuously find every single month. They have a great board over there. They have great employees. They already have a lot of assets, a lot of resources. I send patients there on a pretty routine basis. So anybody, you know, looking for jobs, looking for education, looking for funding to improve themselves or anything, send them to Michigan Works. They have a lot that people don't know about. Their budget is larger than the county's by quite far. So, and they do an amazing job over there. So anyways, yes.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. They have a very good leader. Penny Pay is huge asset for this county.
Third leader actually is Mark Vidian,
Well,
but Penny
I-
is there, yes. Yes.
well, yes.
Time clock. I talked to Tim. Tim, do you want to give us a little update on that today?
Yeah, I got my cheat sheet here. Working off the email exchange between Paul and Tracy. Looks like there was not sure what the right term is, a conversion date, I guess, was yesterday, for the sheriff's office. I won't read the entire email that Tracy's put together here, but they're just some notes, some observations that they've made. So that one's live and working. Looks like you might have a couple of bugs to work out yet.
Still some
Just,
growing pains, but we're working through them.
yeah, there are things like
That.
making sure that the time is recorded to the right activity. So is it road patrol? Is it, you know, whatever. So, you know, it's things like that that we would expect really to see. And we've seen enough of it that I think we'll be able to clean it up relatively quick. So that's the first group. The second group that we had was in our corrections unit. We did get language in the contract about using the system. Unfortunately, I think there've been some liberties taken with that definition. There was no doubt when we sat down to bargain with the bargaining team of the county, and it consisted of Commissioner Scott, it was Commissioner Simmons, and then to Commissioner Serbrook. it was made clear what the intentions of the county were. It was to have the employees, say punch in quotes. I mean, maybe they put their finger on the time clock to time in. They sit down at their workstation and click the button to clock in. And the idea being that when that happens, that covers us from any unanticipated and unintentional liability when it came to paying people overtime in compliance with the Fair Labor Standards Act. The interpretation, though, has been that the employee can sit down and type in their time when they arrive at work.
Is that what the
And
court,
then-
Tim? With courts?
Yes.
Okay, you said corrections.
I'm
I thought you
sorry,
said corrections.
You did say
So,
corrections.
Okay.
You continue.
So,
Okay, so that's what's happening there now. Well, it's at least a step forward, but it's certainly not what our intention were from the funding unit when we brought this forward. But that's where it is. So we're at least at that point where that system is being utilized. Now, I'll just break down for you, why is that important? Well, when it's being utilized this way, then there is still, I would say, just additional administrative work that has to be done to get this data into the payroll, get it processed, and get the check cut. That does mean that the numbers have to be handled at least 2 more times, one by the individuals approving, and then by Tracy when we actually make the conversion from the UKG into the BSNA to get the, I guess what do we call those, ACHs now, rather than checks, to get that money deposited to the employee. Were it being done optimally, where the button were being pushed in one sense or another, that's all that's got to be done. Everything then converts over. We don't have to worry about cross-checking on things like which activity are we billing it against. And granted, with the course, there's not a lot of options, but there are options there. Mistakes can be made. But when it's all automated, yes, there can still be mistakes, but the likelihood of it is greatly reduced. And I can state that from experience where I have at my own direct reports. The only time I have to get into the system and put a time in is when an employee forgets to punch out, or when and the few times that it has happened, an employee has gone to punch out, but for some reason it didn't get recorded. And then we get an alert to that effect. Either I do or the employee does the next day when they try to punch in, and we get it and we fix it and it's fine. Otherwise, rarely do I need to do anything outside of viewing the timesheet and clicking approve and sending it through. So it's just unfortunate that we still have that additional, shall we just say, not as efficient process by doing it this way, but that's where we stand right now with that group.
Commissioner Serbrook.
hopefully we'll get on board. I thought after Matt talked with the judges, and I thought we were gonna be on the road to resolving this issue, but evidently it's still rearing its ugly head.
Commissioner Scott.
It's been clear right from the day one, it's been clear, and they've sat right in the room with us and said they understand what it is. I don't understand the mixed the things. I think it's the kids playing mom against dad. But they gotta come around. This is the last job I had. That's just the way I did. I walked into the shop, went up to my computer, I typed in my name in the program and put it in. Boom, it's done. You know, I mean, I can't understand why you wouldn't want accurate timekeeping. Why you don't want accurate timekeeping, especially in the courts. I mean, oh my gosh, everything's got to be so precise. I mean, it's evidence in some cases, you know.
Commissioner Wiltie.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. We've made it very clear the way it should be. That's the way that probably 95% of businesses run in America. I mean, it creates accountability. It creates a fair working place that you know that people are there when they show up, they're gone when they leave. It's very simple. You know, for years we've been talking about this, and we're finally getting a point, and a lot of the other entities of the county are realizing the importance of it as well. I mean, it needs to be across the boards. This sitting down and filling in your time clock is just, that's absurd. I mean, it creates absolutely no accountability. This is the court system. You would think accountability would want to be at the highest measure, and it's not a hard ask. Not a hard ask at all.
I am gonna agree with the accountability, the fairness. I'm a little disappointed in the negotiations when that was brought back to us as a board as a whole. It sounded very clear. We spent a lot of money on this software, a lot of money, and continue to spend a lot of money on this software. I do think, this is a must moving forward, and what I find moving forward, what I'm gonna ask from the negotiation team is that, you know, we held up our end of the bargain for specific funding, that they requested. Moving forward, I think that they're, needs to hold up their end as well before maybe, we hold up our end. Because that was also made very evident. And we held up our end of the bargain. So just keeping that in mind moving forward, it sounds like it's a verbiage issue, which is sad, but I am disappointed. Commissioner Mayhew.
Correct.
All right, anything else on that? I just wanted us all to be on the same page as far as where we were with that. Commissioner comments, Commissioner Wiltie, comments?
No, we're not, this, again, committee whole is not reports, right? It's just
Correct.
comments. No, I've just got reports and I'll wait till next week for reports.
Commissioner Scott?
Well, things are coming along. I think the sheriff will agree. Well, we talked about it in the meeting, our meeting. With them being moved across the street, now it seems the department is more integral. It's one department, not this department on one side of the street, department on the other. You know, and I think this is working out very well. And, you know, this question with, does the secretary do one task or another? It's working together. His deputies are working with, we've talked in other meetings and through negotiations that the deputies are now working. There's just no, it's seamless, it seems. Is that pretty much?
Just one unit.
One unit, yeah. And, you know, they got job descriptions, but it's one unit, you know, so I think this has worked out pretty well. So going forward, I think we're not gonna see this us and them thing.
Commissioner Mayhew, any comments?
I just want to thank everybody and for the support I've had for the last couple of weeks. It's been pretty tough, but I'm gonna be back.
Good to hear.
Good. Commissioner,
I am happy to report that NIMSCA officially made me a member of their board last month.
woo,
I have taken the mandatory training.
good.
And I will be attending my first NIMSCA meeting tomorrow.
It's a great organization. It really is. It really.
Oh, I know, yes, I agree 100%. I'm very familiar with a lot of stuff they do, and it plays into other committees I sit on, whether it be DHHS, public health, mental health, that all goes hand in hand. So I think it's gonna be a good thing.
Just a
But it's
distance.
just a time-consuming process.
Where you gotta go?
This one's in Tawas,
Oh, not bad.
so, but they're starting at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
That's stuff for you.
Okay, public comment, any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone?
Make a motion.
We are
to go
good.
into closed session.
Gonna go into closed session. There'll be no business after closed session, correct? Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Scott.
Make a motion to go into closed session, do the, I don't have the MC.
You want me to quote it?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Do you
go
have it?
ahead.
I'll make a motion. We go into closed session under MCL 15.268, paragraph 1, subparagraph C, to consider a strategy associated with negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement.
We have a motion. Do we have support?
Support.
Roll call vote.
Mark Serber.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes. We have a motion with support. Do these guys stay or they don't, correct?
Chair,
No.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
we just had somebody pop up. I think they just were a little late to hit their hand raise button on the Zoom. And I thought maybe before we actually enter closed session, if you want to check
Oh,
on the Zoom for public comment.
sure.
Thank you.
Matt is, or not Matt, excuse me, Tom, are you able to unmute Louis Balance? Is this public comment? Go
Yep,
ahead, sir.
They can unmute, so they're good to go if they want to speak.
Okay, go ahead, sir. It looks like you're still muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You're under
Yeah,
public comment,
this is
sir.
Louis Balance. I wrote to you guys about that Amtrak resolution. I just wanted to check and see what your county's position is as far as getting a letter of support for bringing Amtrak to Northern Michigan. Just want to get an idea of what your county is going to do.
Tim, do you have an update on it?
So that was communication that came through on April 10th, and we did receive and file it. There was no action taken by the board.
Did you hear that, sir? We did receive your letter and we received.
Yes, I'm just wondering if you would be willing to consider doing a resolution on that. I know it's not going to come through your county, but it would be beneficial for all Northern Michigan counties to support this bringing Amtrak to Northern Michigan.
What we'll do, sir, is we'll put this topic on the next committee of the whole, so we will discuss it then.
Okay, will
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
All
you.
right. Going into closed session?
Yep.
Okay,
Have a good evening.
you too.
Have a
Thank
good
you, sir.
evening. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Everyone. Doing it in my hometown, right? You're about to go there.
Open them all. Oh, yeah.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
For background, this actually came in staff review.
I want to see three other bases. You can take a look. Really good stuff for veterans and.
Yes.
Hi, Matt.
Hi there.
How are you?
Gonna get out.
Motion, any
Yeah.
support?
Make,
In a month.
Motion with support. Roll call vote.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Commissioner Mayhew supported it.
I'll make it.
Mark Serbrook,
yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yeah.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Charles Murphy.
Yes.
Are we back on?
I'll make a motion to go into open session.
Support.
Roll call vote.
There's nobody else on.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Serbrook.
Yes.
Roger, it's your turn now. To make the motion
Yeah, sure.
to adjourn.
Yeah, bet.
All in
All right.
favor?
Aye.
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 Where you go? It would be derelict to head an offer to you and to Jenny,
What?
opportunity to stay later and do claims tonight.
Oh, yeah, no.